Station. My name is Kaylee Pellis and I'm super excited to be joined here today by the amazingly multi-talented Anthony Lee. Thank you so much for joining me here today, Anthony. Now, as you all know, this time of isolation is almost over for this area, thankfully, and I'm looking forward to getting out and gigging again. But what did you get up to during your time of isolation, Anthony?
Well, I just finished, just before the isolation came in, I just finished doing a film clip for one of my songs called Big Man Joe. And I grew this beard and I kind of left it for the isolation. So now I'm working on new projects. I just finished a social distance song for schools called Arms Out that I recorded just recently. And I'm working on some new projects, which is fantastic, and I get a bit of time for that, which is fun.
That's really good to hear, Anthony, that you've been spending your time wisely in isolation and coming up with some new music, and I'm looking forward to hearing that new music. What made you first start in the music industry?
Well, my grandfather was a self-taught violinist, and when I was about 8 or 9 years old, he paid for me to have piano tuition for 6 months because he saw me mimicking my grandmother on the piano. And from there, I just took to it like a great love of mine. I started writing songs, mucking around writing songs when I was about 9 or 10, and I went in talent quests and did everything I possibly could, and never ever lost my passion. So here I am, many years later, and I'm still at it and still loving it.
That's awesome that your dad was a musician, Anthony, and so is mine actually. I grew up listening to my dad play piano. And that's how I kind of picked up my music as well. Who inspires you most as an artist, or what inspires you as an artist?
I really like just playing chords on the piano. It's funny, you know, like any writer will tell you that inspiration kind of comes at any time, and you've got to try and capture it. So I always capture little verses or choruses or whatever on my phone. And I capture them, and then if they kind of hang around for a long time, I try and add more and more to them, and then I start getting that song, and it's amazing. I love seeing the final product when you've started off with just a little inspired moment, and suddenly it's a song that you release out there, which is pretty exciting. The artists that I love over the years, Supertramp, Elton John, Cat Stevens, David Bowie, all those great artists, you know, and so many more. The Beatles, of course, you know, love them. So yeah, I'm inspired by lots and lots of different artists, you know, and quite varied artists too, you know, that's just to name a few.
Hey, all the classics. That's what I grew up on as well. I actually got lucky enough to see Elton John perform live this year, and he was absolutely incredible. Me and Dad went to the show and I absolutely loved it. What's your favourite gig memory, Anthony?
Well, I reckon 1997. I was asked, when Princess Diana was tragically killed, I was asked to write a tribute song to her. And I wrote it in my studio the very night she died, and the next day they played it nationally around the country. And from then it started charting. We bought out the CD, and then that CD started charting, and then I started getting airplay in the UK and Canada. And around the same time, the Newcastle Knights won the grand final, and Newcastle held a huge victory party for them at Civic Park, and 100,000 people showed to support them, and I was part of that. I was on stage and I performed my song Shine Your Light alongside the Screaming Jets. So that was a pretty big year. That was a pretty exciting year for me.
100,000 people alongside the Screaming Jets. The crowd would have been screaming. What song will you be playing for us today, Anthony, and why?
Alright, well tonight I'm going to play you a song called You Know, and I wrote this song for my wife many years ago. It was on my album called A Girl Like That. It's a really nice little ballad, and I play this song live at my club venues, around the pubs and so forth. And when I do, people really like this song, so I thought I'd do a nice acoustic version tonight for you to hear. I hope you like it. Sometimes I feel I have to let you know there's a reason that I just can't let you go. And it's hard for me to say how I feel when you're away, but you know there was a time I felt I just don't think I'm sure. But if the truth be known, I love you even more than you'd ever hear me say, than you'd ever hear me say. But you know and still I always find a way to stop myself again from saying I love you, don't you know by now, yeah. There was a time I felt I just don't think I'm sure. But if the truth be known, I love you even more than you'd ever hear me say, than you'd ever hear me say. But you know and still I always find a way to stop myself again from saying I love you, don't you know by now, yeah. Yes, so Kaylee, I just want to thank you, a really big thanks for having me on your program, and I've loved it, I've really loved it, and thanks so much for your support. You're doing wonderful things, and I hope one day, maybe just one day, you might do one of my songs. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Anthony. That was a beautiful song for your wife, Jenny. And if you want to see more Anthony Lee, links are below in the bio or across on this ticker. Before I go this week, I'd love to share with you a snippet of my brand new song called Out of Tune. It's available on Spotify and Apple Music, and you can also see it on Facebook. It's had 3.8k views, so thank you so much to everyone who's supported it so far. And if you haven't already checked it out, the link will be in the bio. Thank you so much to everyone for your support, and I hope you like my song.
Lost my intention, waiting for you. Lost all my patience, being abused. Climbed every mountain, every river that flew. My heart keeps breaking, waiting for you. 'Cause side.